everybody, today we're looking at Chanel. So I am recording this in December. It will go up on Patreon very soon, and it will not go up on YouTube until this is actually released. So if you're watching this on Patreon, it's probably December, and or maybe later, but if you're watching this on YouTube, it could be any time in the year. So I want to be careful how I describe this eyeshadow quad because I'm not exactly sure when it's coming out. The name of it I have. This is the Eclat de Nuit, and it is 0.07 ounces, 18 months shelf life. The number is 388, and this is what it looks like. I will have the swatches go up. And this is a very cool toned, I would say more dramatic look. You can make this look really light as well, and I'll explain how in a minute. But let's go through how I applied the look that I have right now. So first I'm going to show you the look. So let's go through it. Okay, so first I take that, it's almost like a mushroom shade, a brownie mushroom shade, and I use that as the transition and kind of put it into the transition up into the brow. That particular shade, it comes off, you know, on the swatch a little deeper than it does on the eye. When I tried to put it on the eye, this will be like a little bit fast forwarded, but not too much. It took a while for me to build it up to enough to where I was happy with it. But if you wanted to do a lighter look and you used it by itself, it would be like just almost like my skin tone, but a little bit deeper. And it's almost like a cafe latte kind of shade. It's very pretty and it worked fine, but it's not particularly impactful. I don't think this quad is particularly impactful. I think it's like a nice, cool neutral, but we'll get there. Then I take the deepest shade in here and I use what I call a pointed eyeshadow crease brush. It's a Kyoto brush, and I use that to deepen out the crease because I felt like that gray shade, the first mushroom shade, wasn't very deep. And at that point, I got the look I wanted. So I have, you know, the depth there, and I think that looks pretty good. I take the lightest shade, the goldest shade, and put that in the brow, and again, all good. When I go to take the silver shade, which is the sparkly, shimmery shade, and I put it on the eye, what I find is it kind of all blends into one. Now, I don't think it looks bad. I just think it loses some of the demarcation because the silver kind of takes over. Now, I took the gold shade, used my finger, and put it over the entire look, then went back with the black and lined my eyes with it. On the bottom lash line, I used a pencil brush, a very tiny one. It's a Wayne Goss 05. And then on the top, I used the new Wayne Goss brush, the E6, to stamp the blackest shade into my lashes because I didn't want a lot of black on the top line. I just wanted to push it into the lashes. Okay, so now we're back, and I used Chanel mascara to get this sort of wispy, deepened look. Now, I actually think the look overall is really nice. I actually think this is a very dramatic, really pretty look, and with this lip color, this is the Rouge 31. These are the special lipsticks that came out. This is the case, and this is shade 4, I believe. Let me double check. Yes, shade 4. I really like the shade. It's a really pretty, sort of bright, corally red. It's really nice. But anyway, I think it goes well with this eye look. But can you see how it all kind of becomes one blended shade? It's a beautiful shade, but I don't feel like it has as much demarcation as I would like. However, I do think you get sort of the silvery gold kind of thing, and I do like it. So what I would say is overall, I think this is a really nice quad, but I feel like because of these two shades being so light, that when you put this over it, it kind of gets lost. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but just something to note. Now the black shade, or the blackest shade, if you go back in with it over this, I think, yeah, you can get a little bit of different, yeah, see how deep this one is? So again, I think it's just a matter of playing around with it a little more and deciding how I wanted to apply it. I think maybe if I went in and put the black on as more of a like this type of look if you're gonna get a deeper look. And I don't necessarily want that, but if I did, if I was doing like a night look, you know, if I was going for something a little more dramatic, I would use the black like that to bring it out a little bit more. And if I didn't want that, I wouldn't have used the black at all. I would have just used this, and I would have used, I'm sorry, this, the mushroom, and then like this over it on the eyelid. I think that would be really beautiful. Or these two together, I think would be striking. So I really do like this quad. I actually think it's very pretty. It has that, the Tom Ford Metallique kind of feel, Store Dolls kind of feel, the Chanel Holiday, similar kind of shades. I do love that color story, so I'm gonna say I do like this, but I do think that it kind of blends a little bit into one. Again, you can still see some like blackish grayish gold, so it's not like all one shade. It does have depth to it, but I just feel like the shades that that light mushroom shade kind of gets lost a little bit with the silver over it, and the black kind of takes over. So again, love the final look. This happens a lot where I'm like, oh, the final look looks great, but I don't think this is like my favorite eyeshadow quad by Chanel. I do think it's very good. The formula is excellent. The silver, this silvery shade it's not really silver. It's almost like platinum. This is like a platinum. It is really beautiful. And I think using that by itself or just with like the black, I think is gonna be a favorite. So again, I'll have my ranking system up later once I've played around with it for a while. But for now, I'd say, yeah, this is definitely one I would buy, especially if you don't have these other shades, because it's a really good, cool neutral, and I think it creates a beautiful look. I think you can do some really light looks with it as well. So those are my thoughts so far. I'll be doing follow-ups, and then I have another spring Chanel that will go up with this one on Patreon, and then whenever it goes up, whenever you're watching this on YouTube, it's when it's been released. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you in another video really soon.